All right, good morning, Harbor, again. Thanks for coming out on this Sunday morning. I know your bed sometimes can be very warm and fuzzy, and it's not always easy to get out on a cold morning, so thanks for making the trip. We are going to be talking about Jesus. Shocker, we're going to talk about Jesus. We're going to talk about Jesus calling his first disciples. And it's always hard to be first, right? With anything. Doing something no one has done before, like being the first follower of Jesus. It would have been hard, demanding, unsettling, not always sure of yourself, not always sure of this person you're following. And think about what kind of life it would have been to have been an actual disciple of Jesus. He calls you, and you have to drop your life and follow him. Or not. It's your decision. But the 12 who did dropped their lives and followed. And that seems like a very hard ask. I can't imagine anybody walking in here and saying, drop your life and follow me, and I'm going to do it. They better have a heck of a compelling story for me to do that. And that's the story of Jesus. Think about what would have to happen for you to say, I'm giving it all up and I'm going to follow you. So let's hear that story. We're going to be in Luke chapter 5, 1 to 11. And I only have one hand, so... All right, Jesus calls the first disciples. Once while Jesus was standing beside the lake of Gennesaret, and the crowd was pressing in on him to hear the word of God, he saw two boats there at the shore of the lake. The fishermen had gone out of them and were washing their nets. He got into one of the boats, the one belonging to Simon, and asked him to put out a little way from the shore. Then he sat down and taught the crowds from the boat. When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, put out into the deep water and let down your nets for a catch. Simon answered, Master, we have worked all night long, but have caught nothing. Yet if you say so, I will let down the nets. When they had done this, they caught so many fish that their nets were beginning to break. So they signaled their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both boats so that they began to sink. But when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, Go away from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man. For he and all who were with him were amazed at the catch of fish they had taken. And so also were James and John, sons of Zebedee, who were partners with Simon. Then Jesus said to Simon, Do not be afraid. From now on, you will be catching people. When they had brought their boats to shore, they left everything and followed him. I love these stories, especially about Simon Peter. You know, he's a little skeptical sometimes. And you can even see a little bit of his skepticism when he's talking to Jesus. So we're in verse 4 and 5 of the verse I just read to you. He said, Put out into the deep water and let down your nets for a catch. And then Simon answers, Master, we have worked all night long, but have caught nothing. Yet if you say so, I will let down the nets. Anybody reading a little skepticism into that response? I can imagine Simon Peter being mildly annoyed by this request. You're thinking about him, Peter thinking, I've been fishing all night. and I have caught nothing. I'm tired. I just want to go home and be disappointed in my bed. And then he's also thinking, this son of a carpenter's telling me how to fish. I'm the fisherman, and you're not, and you're telling me how to catch fish. I can imagine the irritation from Peter. And this doubt, this skepticism comes after Jesus has already healed his mother-in-law in the previous verse by rebuking her fever. In fact, all kinds of people came to Simon's house that night to be healed. In fact, many demons were cast out, and some of these demons shouting at Jesus, "You are the Son of God." And yet, Peter's still skeptical. Now, I'm going to be honest. If somebody starts rebuking demons and telling me I'm the Son of God, I might start believing that. But Peter still is skeptical. It's easy to be a skeptic in this world, isn't it? Especially with AI. Ron, you know what I'm talking about, the spirituality and AI stuff we talk about all the time. What's real? What's not? Who knows? I don't even know if you guys are real. And how many have seen a miracle like in front of your face, and you still doubt, you still want to explain it away? Can anybody relate to this? Because I do this all the time. Skepticism in the face of a miracle. A sign from God. And the truth is, I speak for myself, I blind myself to blessings, little miracles, signs of God all the time. And one of my friends calls them God winks, like these little flashes of, yeah, God, you're there. I can feel you. But so often, I think I could speak for the broader society. So many of us ignore or miss or rationalize away these little miracles we see all the time. Just like Simon Peter. The day before Jesus heals his mother-in-law, all these people show up to his house that are sick. They get healed. Demons are cast out. And yet Peter is still a skeptic. And I have often thought about this question. If Jesus walks through the doors right now, would I doubt that it's Jesus? Would I be a skeptic? Yes, I would be a skeptic. And I think most of us would be a skeptic. So how do we know who to follow? How do we know if Jesus walks in the door that it's Jesus? And what would it take for that man to have you drop your whole life and follow him? I can't imagine what would have to happen for me to drop I like my life. I don't want to drop my life. Like, it's a big ask. Like I mentioned, I have a cynical mind. I'm always looking for the rational explanation, the scientific explanation. But some things happen, and science can't always explain it. So imagine Jesus walking through this door. Or maybe he's walking through the forest this way. That'd be fun. Eric, go ahead and put our prompts up if you could. Here is the ultimate question. Why am I a follower of Jesus? It's a simple question, right? But it's a big question. And what I want us to do is just take a moment to reflect on this. So we're going to sit, we're going to ground, we're going to meditate and pray on this very simple question. Why are you all here? Why are you following this man that died on a cross 2,000 years ago? Why are we doing this? So let's go ahead and ground and pray. So let's get our feet on the ground. Let's straighten our back. Let's take some deep breaths in the nose and exhale out the mouth and think. Let the Spirit come. Maybe it's an image, maybe it's a thought. Why are you here? And why are you a follower of Jesus? Let's sit in silence for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, and let's think about why are we following this man, Jesus? How many have often gone through life and not felt like they were enough? Just as they are, just as we are. Feeling inadequate. It reminds me of the Star Wars that we gathered the other day. Not Star Wars, Star Words. My words were connection and strength. And I actually love those words for me. Because for me, I think this world is so desperate for connections. We have all these ways of connecting online, social media, but to me it feels detached somehow. And then we hear from Simon Peter, and he says to Jesus, after they catch 2 boatloads of fish, after having caught 0, Peter says to Jesus, "Go away from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man." Are there any sinful people in this room? I think you're probably sin-free, I think. Go away from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man. How many of us have taken that idea of not being worthy and just embodied that? Playing small, acting like we can't do things that we know we are capable of doing. Afraid to follow for fear of failure. Whew, that's me. If I don't ever do it, I can't fail at it. Afraid to be a disappointment. God and Jesus calls us as we are. Not when you're perfect. And I got news for you. Nobody's ever going to get perfect. We're all going to be imperfect human beings. Our imperfections, our feelings of inadequacy, our feelings of unworthiness. These are not obstacles to Jesus' call. It is the reason that we are being called. The journey and the walk is the point. If Jesus waited for perfect people to sign up to be disciples, there would be nobody. There would be nobody. Walking in the way of Jesus is our mission. Jesus does not wait until we think we are ready to be called. You're being called right now, and so is everybody else. It's a matter of tuning in. I've been reading this crazy book about consciousness. I'm not even going to tell you about it. It's like, whew. But it's the idea that we are receiving our consciousness from the Spirit. And that sounds like the truth to me. And we often don't want to hear the call, do we? Because we're too busy. We've got chaotic lives. We fill our minds with our phones and social media and TikTok and I don't even know what other. There's so many freaking social media apps these days, Snapchat, and I don't even know anymore. But it's so easy to distract ourselves in this time, in this place. We're missing the signs, we're missing those God winks that I talked about, those nudges from the divine. I was at seminary with Tom, actually. And that was fun. I miss seminary. And wait, there was this theology called process theology, and I love it. To me, that is it. It's this idea that God is constantly calling us forth, giving us little hooks, giving us little nudges along the path. How many have been in a decision where I got to go left or right, and I don't know what to do? And then at least what I do is I sit on it. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm going left. What do you call that? To me, that's the Spirit. That's our brains turning off enough, getting quiet enough to receive that signal from the Spirit, go left. We trust that God and Jesus will keep working through us as the hands and feet, as a part of the body of Christ. And we heard Jesus tell Peter that he's going to be catching men instead of fish. And Jesus is helping us to catch those around us, not by sitting on our soapbox on the corner, but by walking authentically in the way of Jesus. And if you do that, you are going to attract people. Just be authentically a disciple of Jesus and watch people be attracted to you. Like we've been talking about over many weeks, many years, this idea of cleaning the inside of our cup, right? And how do we clean the inside of our cup? First thing we got to do, we have to be honest with ourselves about how dirty our cups are. We have to be honest about the harm we've caused. We have to be honest about the harm we've received. And then we have to express that in a safe space like here at Harbor. How many have ever heard the expression just carrying a rock around all your life? Just carrying this big old rock. What is that rock? What is that weight that we're carrying? Shame? Guilt? Unworthiness? Fill in the blank. Whatever that is for you, you can put it down. The only one making you carry the rock around is you. As I invite the praise team forward, I'm going to leave us with this thought. We are the only ones who decide how we walk in this life. I can't make anybody walk any particular way. The only person who decides that is you and me, ourselves. And if we tune into the Spirit, we can find a little bit of quiet, a little bit of contemplative space to tap into that living water. Because the answers are here. We have to tune in and be like Simon Peter. And I don't want you to literally drop your life, but metaphorically drop your life. Put down the boulder. Listen to the message of Jesus and walk. May it be so.